Hello, reporting to you live from St. Charles, Illinois. This is the March Madness special of the Comeback Sports Podcast. I brought in a fan favorite, my brother-in-law Ethan. How's it going, Ethan?
Oh, it's going great. Tournament started yesterday, and I don't know, I did okay gambling-wise, but it was fun day to watch the upsets and whatnot, and finally get the tournament back after missing it last year.
Oh yeah, in case I didn't mention, this is day 2 of the Madness, so we'll be going through the second half of the first round, and it's probably the first round is probably my favorite.
Oh yeah, there's just so many games all day long. You got 4 different sets of 4 games. Hence why I have the 5 TVs. Can't miss any second of any of the games. So.
That's right. I mean, we have the 4 TVs for the games, and then the 5th TV is for me to catch up on the news.
Yeah.
I want to know what the weather's going to be like today, even though the window is right in front of me. So let's kind of start with day 1 of a quick recap of some upsets we saw. Want to start the Ohio State game?
Yeah, that was a great game. A lot of actually guys that I follow on Twitter were picking Oral Roberts to at least give them a game. They got 2 stars on the Oral Roberts team. They got Admis and Obenar, and they both went nuts yesterday and able to make enough shots and beat send Ohio State home. So it was a good game to watch.
Yeah, I mean, I think the key thing that kind of led to their demise was the amount of turnovers.
Yeah.
It was like 16 plus before the overtime, so that definitely isn't going to cut it for them.
And also, Ohio State was without Kyle Young yesterday, and they haven't played near as well without him in the game. So missing him definitely hurt them. But in the end, the 2 stars for Oral Roberts took over and made enough shots and won. So
yeah, I mean, the better team's going to win the game, plain and simple. And another game I want to touch on is the Purdue game. What are your thoughts on that one?
I thought North Texas was going to be tired after their run through the conference tournament, making it. But, they made enough shots. That Hamlet dude, he played awesome. His floater is probably one of the best in the nation. And it's exciting to see what they'll do in the next round.
Oh, yeah. He leads the league in floaters in terms of how many he's attempted and made is what I saw.
Yeah.
So I was quite surprised. That's a very interesting stat. I never really thought that was a stat that was recognized.
It's definitely a lost art in the game nowadays. Everyone wants to shoot threes or get down low. That mid-range game is definitely a lost art. And, that floater's a tough shot. It really is.
It's hard to block. Speaking of shooting threes, that was one thing Purdue couldn't get on was a 3. They just couldn't do it to save their lives. I think they were 30% off of 31 attempts, so they just couldn't make it happen in the perimeter.
And that's why I love this tournament so much, because you get a 1-game chance. If you're hot, you're hot. If not, you're going to go home. So that's why I love this tournament so much.
Yeah, do me a favor and get a little closer to the mic so I can catch you.
Oh, sorry.
That's fine. I know you're still new at this. I know it's because I'm still new at this. Yeah, I think one thing you mentioned to me, or at least I saw, was Purdue was already on a losing streak prior to this tournament. It only made sense that they were going to come up short into the first round.
Yeah, they definitely overachieved this year. They got a lot of guys coming back next year, and they're going to be a team to mess with next year for sure.
I mean, Big Ten, it's an interesting conference. I enjoy watching it more than other Power 5 conferences. So I'll stick around and see what I can find for next season. And then, so I want to touch on the Tennessee game. I didn't really get a chance to watch that one because I was at work at the time because, I can't just watch basketball all day at work. That's why I stayed late last night. So any thoughts on that game?
It was Tennessee from all year long. They just can't score. They play great defense, but they cannot score. And they go through long droughts, and they just can't score. They're just not good on offense. So I actually had Oregon State winning that game. They've been hot. They've won through the Pac-12 tournament, and they kept it going. So
I mean, even Oregon State in football has been a surprise when they came in from that Pac-12 football conference. And then one game that made me so frustrated to watch because we were watching this together was the San Diego State game. I was watching this game. It was just utter dominance in the first half. You knew right away what it was going to be. I believe it was 11-plus minutes that San Diego State didn't score a single point.
Again, same thing with Tennessee. San Diego State goes through points where they just can't score. That Syracuse zone, every tournament causes problems for teams that have never seen it. So,
oh yeah,
you
remember that one year where they were the upset of the year? I think it was 2016 where they made it to the Final Four.
Yeah, I think they made it all the way to the Final Four. I think they went from the first 4 game and made it all the way to the Final Four.
And the reason I remember this is because I was in college at the time and I was in my business class and I did some research because March Madness was going on and they had a shortage of gear to sell because they were just winning so much.
Yeah.
And I want to touch on the one seeds that played yesterday. That would be Illinois and Baylor. I just want to do a quick recap. Just, obviously they dominated their games. Do you still see them making it further, or do you see them getting upsetted pretty soon?
No, Illinois they're my pick to go against Gonzaga in the championship game. I think they have all the tools, and they can beat Gonzaga too. They're a team that could definitely beat them. They got stars on that team, and then Baylor, coming off of the COVID thing, they're still not playing as good a defense. So I think here they're going to get rolling in the tournament, and I think they're going to make the Final Four too. I picked them to go to the Final Four. They've been good all year, except after the COVID thing, and I think they're finally getting back to normal Baylor basketball. So.
Baylor is in my Final Four. I just think they're the best team in the Big 12, next to Texas, who's really hot at the moment. But Illinois, I really like Kofi Cockburn. Mm-hmm. I did not realize they pronounced it Coburn. I just call him Cockburn. I don't know how do you get co out of cock.
Yeah, I don't know either. But I guess announcers just didn't want to say Cockburn. So we'll just call him Coburn from now on.
He can juggle.
Oh, yeah. I didn't
know
that. But
I saw that. There was like an ESPN clip of him just juggling before the game.
Huh, nice.
So now that it's day 2, what are the must-watch games for the second day of the first round?
My favorite game to watch today, and it's probably because I have the most money on this game, is Ohio versus Virginia. I think Ohio is going to beat them. Again, Virginia's coming off the COVID thing where they haven't been able to practice. They just got to the bubble yesterday at like noon. They get one shoot around today, and they got to play. They're going to be without one player. I don't know who it is yet. And but I liked Ohio even if Virginia was completely healthy. I haven't liked the ACC much this year. They've been struggling already in the tournament. And, I like Ohio today. I bet them early on at +10. Now it's down to 7. So I still like them at 7. I think they're going to win. So,
my game to watch would be the Drake game because, even maybe you can say, but they've really been covering in terms of from the betting standpoint throughout the season, and they come off to me like an underdog in this bracket.
Yeah, they are. They're getting 6.5 today from USC. I think Drake has a good chance to win. It's Hempel's second game back from injury, and he's their best player without Penn. Their guard was out for the season, so he hasn't played for a while. But getting Hempel back and hopefully get him a few more minutes today will help them. And I think they're going to give USC a trouble.
Another team I want to look out for is Georgetown. They were 12 seed. They're playing number 5 Colorado today, and I'm a little nervous because I have Colorado going into my Elite 8. So if they can take care of Georgetown, I'll be happy. But Georgetown is not a team you should undermine.
Oh, not at all. And I honestly call Colorado's a good team. They got a really good point guard, McKinley Wright. He's an old guy, so he's been around for a while. He knows how to play in these type of games, and I think they're gonna dominate Georgetown. I really do. I think Georgetown caught a little fire in the Big East tournament, and but I really think Colorado's gonna be the one today to win. So
Ethan, my brother-in-law, he is the college basketball expert. So when he says that, it makes me so much happier with my bracket because I need Colorado to get far.
Well, I picked him in my bracket too, so I need him as well. So
my true bracket is with my coworkers because there's a bigger pool involved. But in our bracket, I actually kind of mixed it up. I went with underdogs only.
Okay.
The 1 seeds and 2 seeds are safe until the Sweet 16. But after that, it's just all underdogs.
Nice. Hey, if it happens, you're definitely one of the few that picked that. So
yeah, my bracket percentage at the moment is 18%. No. So not very good so far.
Yeah, I never do good at brackets. That's not my thing. My thing is more the gambling side, and so.
And just to make sure, the Comeback Sports Podcast does not condone underage gambling. Please check if your state is eligible for gambling. We do not condone it. So now we're going to talk about our brackets. I want to touch on our predictions for the Elite 8. Who do you have for the Elite 8?
Well, I got all 4 1 seeds making it. No, actually, I have LSU beating Michigan next round. I have Michigan going out just without Livers. I think they're a little more vulnerable, and LSU, if they can get by the Bonnies today, it's going to be a tough game against the Bonnies, but I still think their athleticism is going to take over. But I think they have a good shot to beat Michigan. So I got LSU versus Bama in their round. I got Gonzaga versus Iowa, and then I have who's the other one? See, Illinois taking on. I gotta look who I even have Illinois taking on, because I think I have Houston losing, because I think that would be their game. And then I have who's the 4th 1 seed?
Baylor.
Yeah, Baylor's there. And I don't know who I have them playing. I got to look at my bracket real quick, actually. But, I don't even know. But I know I definitely got my Final Four is Gonzaga, Bama, and Illinois, and actually West Virginia. It's West Virginia. I got West Virginia beating Baylor.
I had West Virginia in my Final Four, and then I switched it. I don't remember why I did. I just wasn't feeling the pick. But here's my Elite Eight. I got Gonzaga, Kansas, Ohio State, which unfortunately they lost, so that was a big hit on my bracket. Baylor, Colorado, Texas, Houston, and Oklahoma State.
Okay. Oklahoma State's guys. I mean, they have the best player in the NCAA, who's going to be the number one pick next year. So, a guy like that can definitely take him to the Final Four.
Oh yeah. If you give him the ball, especially in the second half, he comes up on top in the second half.
1-on-1, that dude is not getting stopped.
He has some good handles.
Mm-hmm. He does, and he can shoot. Yeah, he can do anything.
Exactly, and I discussed this with Brian on my last episode. I got Houston kind of being this kind of black horse, just because what I've seen is that they're super good defensively, and the argument is that they don't really face tough competition. But Ethan, you watch a lot of like these non-Power 5 games. Is there like something that people should be taking note of when there's these big teams versus these small teams in matchups?
If you can find like these mid-majors, if you can find a guy that is has a chance to go to the NBA or was a transfer from a big school or anything like that, those guys are the teams that have a chance to make an upset. Like today, Ohio has Jason Preston, who's going to go to the NBA, and they have and then UCSB, Cal Santa Barbara, has McLaughlin, who was a big school transfer and stuff like that. So they have a chance against Creighton, type of thing. So if you find those type of teams, or a team that has size, because that's a lot of times these mid-majors are not big. Mm-hmm. So if you can find a team that has some size, then they have a chance too. So
that's true. And I think what these mid-major schools are good at is just kind of getting more of the other players involved. Their schemes are just a little bit more complex. Like these big schools, they just the same things. They just recycle players year over year because they just go to the NBA, one and dones. Mm-hmm. They don't really take time to like construct a play style that's going to be for the longer run.
Yeah, and if you find also a senior-laden team that has a bunch of seniors that has been playing together for a long time, they know each other versus these teams that have a bunch of freshmen and sophomores, those guys have a chance as well too.
Right. But speaking of these big one-and-done schools, I had Kansas in the Elite Eight, as I mentioned, taking over Iowa. I think some people are going to say, oh, Iowa's going to win. I just don't. I don't like to bet on Bill Self because he's gone to 10 Sweet 16s within his 17 appearances. But then again, it's hit or miss. He shows up for the tournament, but at the same time, you don't know what's going to come out of it. It's either the Elite Eight or it's like second round exit.
Yeah, and the thing with Kansas, if they get to face Iowa, they have a guy that can guard Garza. And against Iowa, if you have someone that's big that can guard Garza, then that kind of it makes Iowa, which they're a good three-point shooting team, they are, but anytime you can stop Garza, who's their best player, then you're going to have a chance against Iowa. So, and they have that in McCormick.
Right.
So,
and I believe Joe Wieskamp is out for the first game, so we'll see.
Oh, really? He hurt? Oh, I didn't even know that.
He has an ankle injury.
Oh.
So we'll see how they do without him if, let's say, they have a guy that can take on Garza, who's the next guy in line.
And today, Grand Canyon has the size to guard Garza. Now, whether or not how good they are, I haven't really watched Grand Canyon play a lot, but I know they have size that can at least match up somewhat with Garza. So we'll see how they do, especially without Wieskamp today. I don't know.
Oh, yeah. I'll check on Iowa State. Oh, wait, they're not playing in the tournament.
Oh, yeah, they went, 0-18 in the Big 12 this year?
2 total wins.
Yeah.
No conference
against,
wins.
Jackson State and do you know who else? I don't know.
I don't. I'm a terrible Cyclone. I kind of I didn't watch him very much just because it was just hard to watch.
Yeah.
But hey, they got a new coach who's familiar with the culture. People like him, so hopefully that'll work.
Prom, right?
Oh, I knew right where they're gonna fire.
Who'd they hire? Do you remember?
TJ.
Oh, Osenberg from UNLV. Yeah.
Exactly. Yep. He used to be an assistant coach. I was just telling Brian on the last episode that Matt Thomas, who once again I had class with, really nice guy. He was like kind of hyping him up on Twitter, saying, "Oh, this guy was part of my Iowa State career. Great, good guy. Knows what he's talking about." So, the older guys that were in that elite generation of Iowa State talent are giving this guy some hype. I'll give him a chance.
Yeah, for sure. I think he's got a shot to be a good coach for sure.
Exactly. I want to talk about Texas. I don't know. I just have this really good gut feeling about Texas. What do you think about Texas?
I bet on Abilene Christian today, plus 8.5. But again, Texas can still win, and hopefully Abilene still covers. But since the game where Ramey and Andrew Jones got into it on the sideline, they haven't been the same team. Like they're still good, and they have 3 good guards, and that helps out in a tournament. That's what they always say: guard play in the tournament helps you out. So having 3 guards, helps them for sure. I think they can make a run. I really do. If they can get by the game today, then I think they got a shot to go pretty deep. So,
and that's my thought on Colorado. If they can get through today, I think they have a shot to go deep as well.
Yeah, I like Colorado. I do. I really do.
I'm trying to think. There's another team to look out for. Already touched up on Baylor, Kansas. I mean, is there any dark horse you think that we're missing in our Elite Eight we should look out for that could potentially take those spots?
Man, I think a team like Oregon could.
Yeah, you're in your Oregon jersey.
I got my orange shirt on.
Whose jersey is that?
This is Peyton Pritchard. Yeah, great guard.
I don't think the young guys know who that is.
Yeah, he still plays. He plays for the Celtics. He's good. Yeah.
How old is he?
He just came out. I think I drafted last year or 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was thinking of something completely different.
No, yeah.
That makes more sense. When did you get that jersey?
I just got it like 3 weeks ago.
Really?
Yeah, because I always thought like I don't know who my favorite team is for college basketball or whatever. It's usually whoever I have money on. But I'm like I always follow Oregon, and I'm a West Coast guy. I'm a Seahawk fan. I'm a Mariner fan. I'm all
Right.
So I'm an all West Coast guy. So might as well stick with Oregon. So
I like Oregon. I mean, I like them football. I don't watch too many of their basketball games, but I just like their colors.
Yeah, I do too. Yeah, and Dana Altman's a great coach for Oregon. So again, if they can get by VCU today, then they'll play most likely Iowa in the second round. And the thing about they're not real big down low. So them trying to guard Garza, but Altman changes it up. He does lots of presses and that kind of thing. So yeah, that's a team that I could see making a run as well.
Yeah, I do like a coach that can mix it up because that's what Purdue was lacking. When I watched them, they just did the same shit over and over again. It just didn't work.
Yeah.
And then it led to their demise of only 2 points in overtime.
Yeah. So, I mean, I'm trying to think if there's any other dark horses that I can think of that could make a run.
Well, and my coworker put Drake to win it all, so see how that turns out. She picked them because she likes Drake the rapper.
Well, I like Drake forever. I like Drake too. So
if somehow she wins this bracket, I'm just gonna.
It'd be awesome for Drake. It'd be awesome for Iowa. Like if they make a deep run, like Loyola did a couple years ago.
Oh yeah, that was great.
Yeah,
and we saw Sister Jean last night. I'm pretty sure she didn't know she was at the game. She looked way too old to be there.
Yeah,
101.
Yeah,
look
that's
good,
awesome
Jean.
for her though. Yeah.
You look good, Gene. Well, I don't have any other notes today. I mean, this has been a great special. I'm going to be spending most of my day, maybe the whole day. I might even be here all week because I'll be too hungover to go to work, watching some games. I hope everyone else watches some games. And
before we go, I'm going to throw out my best bets.
All right, go ahead.
Okay, Ohio, UCSB, and I think just those two. Those two are my best. So take those two. If you're watching and you want to make some money, take those two.
All right. Kids, don't do that. But if you are a responsible person with their money, do it. So that's
great advice.
So that wraps up today's show. Thanks again, Ethan. Fan favorite, as always, for coming on the show. So watch some games, and I will see you guys later. Also, make sure to like, subscribe, and share it with a friend. Take care.
Thanks, guys. See you.